There are going to be some issues that a city councilor has to face that are very particular to their area, and there are going to be other issues that are wide ranging and have an impact on the entire community. One of the specific issues that I feel that I have to address if I'm elected to represent Ward 5 is the issue of the speed limit along what we call Regional Road 80 or Highway 69 North, going from Valcarin all the way into Hanmer. When you hit McRae Heights, the speed limit goes down from 80 to 60. When you hit the hill in McRae Heights, it's 60 all the way through Valcarin and all the way out of Valcarin until you get to the river, and then the speed limit goes up to 80. It stays at 80 until you get to the Hanmer Valley Shopping Center. The problem with that stretch between the where it turns 80 to the Hanmer Valley Shopping Center is that it has become more built up. There's more traffic coming out of the subdivisions, and even though it's a 5-lane highway, it's 4 lanes with a center turning lane. The having a speed limit of 80 kilometers an hour is starting to concern an awful lot of the residents, especially the residents on the east side of Regional Road 80 as you get closer to Dominion Drive. There's an awful lot of driveways that back onto the highway. What we're finding now is that an 80 kilometer an hour speed limit as you're approaching the lights at Dominion Drive means that cars and trucks, that we've got a lot of trucks on that highway, are driving at 95 kilometers an hour, and they're hitting the lights. So a study was done a number of years ago that indicated that stretch where you've got all of those houses backing onto the highway should be reduced to 70 anyway. We're seeing that with the public transit buses having to stop on that outside lane. There's no place for the transit bus to go into a bus area. When a bus stops, it stops right on the highway, and you're on an 80 kilometer an hour highway. So if you happen to be driving at 95 kilometers an hour and you happen to be 10 cars behind, you're not expecting to have to slam on your brakes for a city bus or a school bus. So there's been a lot of concern from the people living in that area that because kids have to walk right along the highway to get to one of the schools, because of the cars that have to back out of driveways to get on the highway and all the other factors, that perhaps it's a time to say, when you hit Valley East at McRae Heights until you get out of Valley East going toward Caperville or going toward Falconbridge, the speed limit along that highway, Regional Road 80, should probably be 60 all the way. It does drop to 60 in front of the Hanmer Valley Shopping Center. Then it goes back up to 80 until you get back up to Centennial Road, which then it goes back down to 70. As soon as you get over the hill, it goes down to 60 to get into Hanmer. So while this is a very specific issue that only deals with Ward 5 and 6, that includes the Valley East area, and it's something that really probably requires some kind of a vote at City Council. This is one of those things that I think councillors are going to be bringing to the table, asking fellow councillors to approve a motion that will allow them to deal with a specific problem in their own ward. I don't think there should be a whole lot of debate on those types of things. I think if one councillor from any ward comes to the table and says, I'd like everyone's support in this because I've identified it as a problem and a lot of the people in my area would like me to do something about it, I don't think we should be debating with them. If the people need 2 extra stop signs in a subdivision in another ward, why should I be arguing against that? And so I think when we are looking at the Regional Road 80 situation, I think it's now a matter of safety and consistency. And if people knew that they had to go 60 all the time when they're in Valley East, It's not going to hurt anybody. It may be inconvenient for the people who want to go a little bit faster, but we're talking about safety. And if we have to put a speed limit of 60, we know people are going to drive 75. So it really, it's not going to have a huge impact, but it's going to make the majority of drivers think a little bit more about safety when they're driving in the valley. I think the speed limit on Regional Road 80 is something that has to be discussed. This is something that will require meetings and town hall meetings and meetings with the Community Action Network. But it is something I think that is going to have to be addressed very shortly before somebody gets seriously injured.